everybody. We're back again here on Sports Chat. Come on.
First round because those teams that they're playing are conference champions.
Wants to throw for Rice. Touchdown 49.
If somebody can afford to pay me $120 million, how much money you think they got?
Well, good Saturday morning, everybody. Here we are back on Sports Chat. It's been a while. What we on today? Johnny John, what's going on, fella?
Hey, man. What's going on, my friend? We in the throes of football season, so let's get it.
Throes of football season. But hold on, we got to discuss something real quick. We want to welcome everybody in. Come on in to our Sports Chat. John.
Yes, sir.
The Detroit Tigers, sir.
Brother, let me tell you something.
Come on, you got to say something. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Let me tell you something. The way that team, and this at the beginning of August, this team was out of the playoffs. It's just been the most remarkable turnaround that honestly I can remember, man. I'm amazed by it. And we clinched last night against the lowly Chicago White Sox, who's lost a record 121 games. So what a perfect opponent to end the regular season with. And just the fact that there will be playoff baseball in this town for the first time since 2014, 10 years ago, man, it's just the excitement between them, and you got the Lions. There's excitement about the Lions. We hosting the Monday Night Football game against the Seattle Seahawks. So it's really looking good for several of our sports teams. Now, I don't know what the Red Wings will be doing, and God knows what the Detroit Pistons. I don't.
The best franchise in Detroit, by the way. That's just my opinion. But,
the Pistons, the Tigers,
the Red Wings.
Well, I think they've been the most well-run organization.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and most time when your organization is run well, it shows, right? I mean, they haven't won the Stanley Cup in a while, but they won their fair share amount. So,
I just love, because I'm be honest with you, as much as we love the Lions and other teams, this is really a baseball town, and I think you'll see just how much of a baseball town. I mean, it's just been probably the youngest pitching staff. We've got the prospective Cy Young
winner. Yeah.
I mean, it's been remarkable, man. I mean,
well, and to their credit, they held on to him because at the trade deadline, everybody talked about, he might get traded.
The talk was, trade him. Yeah. We're not going anywhere this year. Get him to a contender. And man, these guys bunkered down and hunkered down like it was amazing to see. Seriously, man. I mean,
well, and so it should be interesting playoffs too, because you got 3 teams that weren't in the playoffs last year: Yankees, Royals. Royals lost 100 games last year.
Royals. I mean, the Royals.
Yeah, so talking about turnaround, my gosh.
But
you got the Royals, you got the Tigers. So it should be quite interesting.
Remarkable turnaround. I can't say enough about. I mean, we were dead in the water in August.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah. The last time we mentioned it to you, it was like, sign off on a football start.
We were dead in the water, and now we've got the wild. It's just, I mean, we're the hottest team in baseball right now. Seriously.
Yeah. So should be quite interesting. All right. So Big deal went down last night. Went down before we get to football.
Big
deal went down last night. You got Cat coming home to the New York area. Play for the Knicks. The Timberwolves get Randall, Dante DiVincenzo, and protected first round pick from the Pistons. So should be. What do you think about that trade? Me personally, if I could have kept Dante somehow, I'd have kept it because he's the type guy. He might have 0 points one night and 35 the next.
Yeah, I mean,
and he just brings excitement off the bench. You need guys like him off your bench.
Run the offense through him. I think they had to. You couldn't trade Cat for Julius Randle straight up. I don't think that.
Yeah. Well, they got their first round pick too.
Yeah.
But my thing is, Thibodeau's got to get Cat the rebound. He got to do some rebounding.
Yeah, I mean, but if anybody can do it, is Thibodeau. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they say too that Cat actually had his best rebounding years when Thibodeau was coaching the team.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the fact that Thibodeau got him coming to New York, I guess that speaks something.
He knows Cat, so
right.
I like what I'm gonna be honest with you. You brought Mikal Bridges, and listen.
So you got your defender. Bridges could get you 20 a night too, if he need be. Yeah,
they going for it.
They going for it.
I still would put Boston as the favorite in the East.
Yeah, you have to, right?
Especially with a knock on wood healthy Kristaps Porzingis, but
you can hang that up. He'll have something wrong if it's a hangnail. Something be wrong with him.
Yeah, he'll be injured by the end of training.
And what's the name too? Randall gets hurt quite a bit.
Yeah,
he always got something going on. If it's not mental, it's another pain. So
this trade clearly the Knicks clearly feel like they are in the championship mix. And I mean, they were injured last year.
And they played well. Yeah.
And they played well. They were injured.
They did. I can't argue with you there. They made their little run.
They beat up last year in that playoff.
Well, and again, like you say, but coaches like him are good for a minimum of 3 to 4 years. After 3 to 4 years, they kind of wear on their players. But that's Tibbs. I mean, he's gonna maximize the talent that he has for sure.
Yeah, but if anybody needs a coach like Tibbs, it's Karl Anthony Towns, because he's
no doubt
lazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He can.
I
got
agree.
skill, but he can be lazy.
Yeah, and again, it gets carried away with those 3-pointers. Get your big behind down there. Get me some boards and give me some inside. Some paint points too, please. Come on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're like frozen. Are you still there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, and so get in there and give me some paint points. Yeah. Don't just be jacking up 3. But that's these big guys now. What's the name? As talented as he is, he get on my nerve too. Joel Embiid with all that. Get inside your big self.
But Joel Embiid would do good to have a coach like Tibbs. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That'll get in some real good shape. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And get on the block, man.
Gotta get in his behind and tell him, come on, man.
Yeah. Joel Embiid got all the talent in the world. But he needs somebody to get in his behind and really
stay off the floor. Get your big self up off the floor. Good.
Yeah. And so I like what the Knicks are doing. I would put them with this move. I think puts them squarely behind Boston as the second best team. in the East. And depending on how it goes, man, they may overtake Ball. I like that. They clearly see themselves with this move. They clearly see themselves as a legit contender to come out of the East this season. And I think they have a good chance at it. That was a really that was a savvy move. I don't know.
I will be tuning in to MSG at night.
Yeah.
For
I
sure.
don't know. I don't see. I mean, Julius Randle. I don't see. If any, if I don't see.
And here, and to your point, he's leaving Tibbs to Minnesota. So again, that little instigation of the coach, and the fact that if you don't do what you're supposed to, and come sit by me, So it'll be interesting. Now I think on paper, it looks more so like the Timberwolves kind of took a hit, because now you're forcing Edwards to maybe 5 to 10 more points they're gonna need for him a game, unless you're gonna start Naz Reid. What you gonna do?
Well, what Minnesota is saying with this move is that we have identified AE, the A Train. That is the guy that we are going to build this team around.
Well, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Cat, you go ahead and see if you. I agree that.
I guess DiVincenzo too. They're looking for him now. 15, 22. Yeah. So I can see it.
Capable of. So
no doubt.
I mean, all is clearly going to go through the A Train, and they've hitched their wagon to him, and so
they've hitched their wagon to the A Train.
It's sink or swim, because this
is officially after last night. Ant is officially your team.
It reminds me of Shaq and Kobe after the 20. They had a decision.
2006, 5, whatever it was.
5 or whenever after they
lost to the Pistons.
Like, hey, are we going with the young kid or do we? And they
pay Shaq. Yeah,
they chose Kobe.
Last big contract. Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah, so
they chose and I think they made the right choice.
They did. I think the Lakers made the right choice, but it may not.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, they did for sure.
It may not.
I mean, but it took them 2-3 years, but they,
and it was a bad 3 years. They struggled.
Yeah, they were terrible
initially.
I mean,
and so
as Kobe would have said, "Yo, I was playing with Smush Parker." Okay.
Yeah, but say what you want about that team, and with Kobe was putting up Kobe type numbers during that stretch. Had a 70. What is it? 81 point game during that stretch, but they were losing. Now,
right?
I'll never call Paul Gasol the best player on that team. It was Kobe, but he made the biggest.
He made all the difference in the world.
They get Paul Gasol, and they go from a playoff also ran to
a championship.
Right. So
yeah. Well, and I mean, and I used to call Paul Gasol at that time. I called him the poor man KG.
Yeah,
because I mean, he had all the skills of KG and everything. Just wasn't as tough and crazy, but you couldn't deny those skills.
People, and this is the thing with that Lakers team. People sleep on it like it was just Kobe just dragged a bag of bums.
Kobe wouldn't even tell you that.
It was some talent on that team. It was some talent.
And we see what happened to Lamar Odom afterwards. His personal problems, but man, for those 2-3 years, Odom was putting up some numbers. He was excellent.
he was Scottie Pippen to
for that Lakers squad for Phil Jackson, correct?
You know,
and then you had the Bulls, although they never had a center. Like, could you imagine a center like Gasol with Jordan them? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, that people sleep on that team like it was just trash, and it's like no, that I mean, Jordan Farmer, you had.
I don't care what era you're in, whatever decade. You win back to back and almost 3 titles. You got to be doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. It's absolutely hard to get there back to back, let alone almost 3 in a row. So, that speaks for itself.
But good trade for the Knicks.
That starts next month. Now back to the football. We got a big one tonight, and it's not the SEC championship game.
No,
it's just a regular season game. But boy, oh boy, it goes a long way to playoff implications. Tonight, we got the Bulldogs and we got the Tide. Who you got? John? Who you got?
Honestly, I like the Tide.
And they're home too. Come on.
They're in Tuscaloosa. The last time they played, they won in the SEC championship game.
Right.
And I looked at that game against Kentucky that Georgia
last week. Last week,
13-12 or whatever it was, and I said,
the week before last. I think it was.
Week before last. Yeah. And I just don't know that this
offense
is great. Georgia, that opened my eyes a lot. And what it really told me is that Texas and Ohio State I think are clearly the 2 best teams in the country. Although it's hard to really,
especially on the offensive side, man. Holy cow!
But it's kind of hard to really judge Ohio State based on their schedule so far.
Exactly.
We really won't know anything about them. They'll beat Michigan State tonight.
Let's go, baby. We'll be with them for a quarter at least.
Yeah,
what's his name is too? Charles is too inexperienced to put any scare in the Buckeye fans tonight.
I mean, because listen, they didn't have the easiest time against was it Marshall last week? Ohio State.
Yeah, Marshall hung with him a little bit.
Obviously, they flexed their talent and they eventually pulled away. But they haven't got.
Charles cannot throw 3 picks today, and we come out on top. You can't do it.
I see a score like 42-17, something like that.
21 or something. Yeah, I can go with that. Yeah, and then that 14, that 17-21 will be late anyway after they recover from getting smacked.
Yeah.
But it's all good. But that Tide, I think. Well, Alabama proved a little bit to me when they smacked Wisconsin at Wisconsin.
Yeah, that was because they didn't look particularly impressive in some of their earlier games. But I said, okay, Camp Randall is a hostile environment. That
hostile environment.
It almost.
I would have loved to. I would love to see Alabama at Camp Randall maybe next month in November, but it was what it was.
They ain't. And I'll be honest with you, just their reluctance to play a game above the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah.
I give them a ton of credit because
I wonder how long ago they came up with that contract.
That game that they would normally not play, even if they played halfway decent out of conference game. It was
Yeah,
always
not gonna be a Big Ten type. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
no, it's very true, very true.
they told
And it
me,
was early too, like the second or third, second, third week. That was big for them, and they smoked them, man. So that was pretty impressive.
I think Bama, excuse me, will win this game tonight. And
well, what I like too though is what's the name? He's a little more offensive minded, DeBow, than yeah, and then our boy,
and
what's the name was?
He's utilizing
Milroe.
Jalen Milroe, and he's playing to his strengths and
playing to his strength. That throwing it down the field.
I mean, and bro, he's playing much better in this system, and I just think they're that and I don't know if it was a one-off, but that game against Kentucky that really like showed a lot of chinks in Georgia's armor. So I think it's going to boil down this year to Ohio State, Texas, and Bama. I think one of those three.
When does Texas play Bama?
I'm not sure. I have to look at the schedule.
That's good. That's gonna be interesting. And I don't know. Texas offense, man, they just
I mean, it looks beautiful. I mean, and then you got two NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah. I mean, it's literally plug and play for them at quarterback.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
you'll go down, and Madden said, okay, well, y'all stop playing with me. Okay.
I'm telling you. So it's really they're really a complete team on both sides of the ball. But it's Texas, so they don't always show up when they
need to. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, they're kind of the SEC's version of Ohio State, where they'll have low talent and they'll find a way to underachieve. They'll find a way. So we'll see.
And so this is really Sharkeez, this your chance, buddy. Don't blow it.
I mean, he's got everything. Texas
that you could want.
Everything that you could want in a championship contending football team.
Yeah, for sure. Got everything. Everything's on the table for you.
We'll see if they can put it together on the field. But they impress. I mean, now again, Michigan. I thought that they opened up preseason number 9, which I thought was a little too high.
Right? Would you say it was too high?
It was too high. And so I can't. You can call that the best win of the season so far. But Michigan.
Oh, you talking about USC?
No, I'm saying Texas against Michigan.
Oh yeah.
You can call that.
I mean,
impressive win.
Yeah, if you look at, I just say the pay on paper and name wise, Well, really, because they haven't played anybody really but Michigan, really.
This ain't last year's Michigan team, so.
Oh no, for sure.
This one, we got a lot of holes.
I just don't. There was a name, man. Their offense is God.
Well, it's not so much the offense as it is the quarterback. The offense. If you look at that game last week, defense played fine. We harassed the quarterback at least 24 times during that game against USC. And we showed that we can run block. Kalen Mullins, and I feel bad for Donovan Edwards because it's like, bro, you sat behind Blake Corum those last 2 years waiting for your opportunity, and you being outshined by a dude that used to be a linebacker that's running. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, but Donovan Edwards hasn't really shown that he's capable of being that every down back. He plays good in spurts, but this Kalen Mullins, man, he's running. He's a runner. He hits the holes. He breaks tackles. And so he looks like the more complete running back.
Right.
And you know, and I always thought that Donovan Edwards was more of a Marshall Faulk type guy, where
runner.
you know, you can run him, you can put him in the slot, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I don't see him as just a feature running back where that might be his ticket, his variety might be his ticket to the NFL. But if they just want a straight up hard-nosed running back, I don't see him filling that void in the NFL. So we can run block. We've shown we can. This guy, Alex, or he can't complete a pass, man. And it's just like, you have 3 passing last week, bro. What? Huh? 43 yards. Yeah. That's not a strategy. You got to be able to.
Not good. Not good.
And I'll be honest with you. To me, that's the only real weakness of this team is the quarterback.
Who's the backup?
I mean, Davis Warren. I don't know what's wrong with Jack Tuttle, because he was the one I thought that would get the starting nod over both of them.
Right.
I just see Alex Orji as that wildcat specialty guy that's gonna come.
Yeah.
I don't see him anything in that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. No, I agree.
And so I just don't see that as a sustainable winning strategy.
Yeah, I mean, their offensive style through the years, it had never been made for him, except for when what's the name was the coach, the guy from West Virginia.
Oh, yeah, Rich Rod.
Right. But other than that, he don't really line up as a.
Well, and too, some people might be saying, well, Michigan ain't like they threw the ball a ton last year. But with JJ McCarthy, you had the threat. He can make
it. Right, because you had your prototypical type. Yeah. McCarthy is the prototypical type quarterback.
So he can, even though he didn't throw it 30 times a game,
he could if he needed to.
He can make any pass.
Throw. Yeah.
I can't
and like I said, if he needed to, he could have.
Yeah, he can bail you out with his. I can't. I don't know if you. When I was watching the game last week, when Kalen Mullins broke that 60-yard run and put him in the red zone, and I think it was either 2nd and goal. When they tried to do a simple out pattern, I mean, he just sailed it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, eventually defenses are going to look and say, hey man, this guy can't throw the ball. So
you just load up the box.
We can do man coverage. We don't have to do zone. We don't have to pull in a nickel, or you know what I'm saying? We can do man coverage and just stack this box and say, throw it, Alex, throw it.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, right? That's what you got to do.
That's not a winning. They got away with it against USC, but that's not a sustainable long-term strategy going forward. I was the one, and I believe I said on this show, when Cam Ward decided he wanted to leave Washington State, I was screaming from the rooftops for Michigan.
Come to Michigan.
Go get him. Go get him. Go get him. He down lighting it up in Miami.
Lighting it up. And you see his really, everybody talking about it was his Heisman moment, but it was a bad decision, but it worked for him. Last night they were losing.
Yeah.
And he should have been tackled twice. Then he just shoved the ball to the kid. I mean, good instincts to get away. But
that's the kind of I'm telling you, that guy in this, I don't know if he would be throwing it as much in this Michigan offense, but
he can do it.
we left ourselves without a quarterback for this season. And I was praying that they hit the transfer portal because I just did not see Alex Orji being anything more than what he is right now.
Right
It's just
now,
a
wow,
wildcat specialty guy that's gonna come in and that's his strength. And there's certainly a place for that, but not an every down quarterback. So
right.
we opened the season and we were alternating Davis Warren and Alex Orji in the same series. You know what I'm saying? First down, this. And I'm like, my opinion has always been, if you got two quarterbacks, then you don't have one. If you got to play two quarterbacks, then that means
if you got to play that in the same series too. Yeah, no, that's true.
It's hard,
and it says too. Speak to that. We're really not sure what we want to do. That too. You know what I mean?
And how can you expect the quarterback to develop a rhythm and a flow in the game
if you're not sure you're gonna be in the game?
I mean, and it'd be different if I played one series of downs and then you played. But if first down I'm in, second down he in, that's and
no, you and it's true. You're not sure what you want to do because then you take that scenario and compare it to a Texas who know what they got in both of their quarterbacks.
No question.
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, when they got that, They got their quarterbacks, two NFL, but when they got Isaiah Bond, when he transferred from Alabama to, I said, "Oh, that's this man. This is gonna be gravy for them." So they are a very talented.
That transfer portal is a good thing if you work it right. I'll tell you.
If you work it right. That was a huge pickup for them. Isaiah Bond was one of their Bama's top receivers last year.
You know, it is funny because the portal right now is better than free agency.
Ain't no question. Ain't no question. No question.
Right? I mean, because the free agency is still kind of kind of ran by rules, right? There's restricted, all those type deals. So
there's all
salary cap, all that, yeah.
But what you've seen with NIL and the transfer portal is the professionalization of college sports.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, just the instant with the guy from ULV, right?
We got our first holdout in college.
Yeah. In the scene, said, "Nope, I ain't doing it." Y'all didn't give me what you promised.
If y'all promised me $100,000, then that's what I want, or I'm not playing.
Well, and so now you're gonna get into the point of contracts, then, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's not on paper, I don't have to give it to you. I broke my word, but
I think I think the mistake that the NCAA made is that they didn't put any guardrails on this NIL
transfer report,
before they released it. Now the horse is out of the barn. The
horse out the barn. Yep.
And
then it reopens in December.
Yeah.
And the school year is still in process.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Important. So I think they should have really put some guardrails on it prior to releasing it, but it's out there now. It's like,
and the thing is, they didn't care about it because they didn't come up with it. That's the problem.
Right. But it's going to
so they're fighting against themselves because they're trying to maintain their dignity and identity. Whereas this too late, like I say, the horse out the barn. You better go get him, snatch him back if you can.
And then left the station. It's not coming back. So
the Bulls are loose in the street.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to curtail it but everything is reactionary at this point. You're doing it after the fact.
Right.
So
good
luck. These kids want to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Now
and sure, all the years, just think about all the years we were watching college football, falling in love and going crazy. these universities were taking advantage of these kids.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Everybody said, "Oh, they get a scholarship." Yeah, but John, they couldn't work. They can't hold a job, right? Because of their responsibility to. Okay, Grant, I'm getting room and board. And that's and the thing is, people are didn't know that it's really year to year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, if they didn't want me, they cut me loose.
Yeah, the scholarship it's not a, they call it a
Right.
4.
The scholarship is just like financial aid.
Every year, and so
it's every year, and so if I don't, and a lot of times people laugh because I'm ineligible to play, but I'm still enrolled in school because credit wise and all that's happened to the best of us, right?
Of course, it's a scam. It ain't no question about it.
Yeah, right. Because they put out there, 4 years of grad, but so many things happen in those 4 years, right? Where
so much of what we do and so what we do in it, it's just a microcosm of how this country operates. And
yeah, we put a plan in place, and this is what everybody has to go by.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
And for the longest, it has benefited those that were at the very top. Right. I remember Chris Webber used to say, he said, "Man, I'm walking in the Foot Locker, and I got the #1 selling jersey in the country, and
I'm getting number 4.
I can hardly buy a hamburger." You know what I'm saying? And
it's true. It's true.
So people got on.
Listen, I can't buy one, and I can't take one that's given to me because that's violation too.
Yeah. Just it's silly. But then a guy like Chris Winkie and play 6 years of professional baseball, minor league baseball, come back to college at 26 years old and still maintain amateur eligibility. Just stupid. And then, just dumb, inconsistent rules across the board, which is why the NCAA as a governing body is largely irrelevant now. That's,
Yeah. It's like the NC who?
Yeah, that's why
they just put the tournaments together now, I guess.
People say, hey, they're gonna bring the hammer down on me. Yeah, right. Okay.
Well, and so here's the thing with this. After a while, the integrity of the tournaments and stuff, and it's going to be nothing, right? Because the athlete is concerned about the NIL and all that. They ain't really worry about the natty. Where'd you go? I lost you. Yeah, I lost you, Johnny. He's gone. All right, there you go.
I can't. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, but you flashed out for some reason.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Hold on. Well, looks like I lost Johnny. Hello, Johnny. Come on, man. Where is it? Can I hear you now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Well, it's the best time on Saturday afternoons at 12 o'clock. So the action is getting started. John, you be safe on the road. I got to get over to the ball field. Got a game at my last fall ball game at 1 o'clock. So we'll see you in 3 weeks, family, because I'll be out the country, going on a cruise to the Greek islands. So Everybody have a good time, Johnny. We'll see you in a few weeks. We love you here
Love
on
you too,
Sports Chat. Ron, get that car fixed. You're always at that shop on Saturday. What's going on? All right, man. I'll talk to you later, John.
All right, man.
We out.
See ya.
All right.
Peace.